Hello everybody and welcome back to 10-Minute Reviews. I am Jason.
That was Freya. And I'm Amy.
And we're bringing you another video. Please don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons. We've got a bunch of videos coming out for you guys all the time. This is our biggest passion. So this is our family, our family thing, our passion, books, as you can see. So please like, subscribe, comment. We'd love to hear from you guys. And otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get into today's book. So today's book is, it's a little bit different. I mean, we try and touch on a lot of different genres. We've had quite a few through various genres. And this one touches on multiple genres, and it's actually kind of hard to describe. It's sci-fi-ish, future-ish, harem-lit-ish, adult-ish. It also touches on some touchier subjects that are not usually talked about much in books, much less being the main focus around the books. So the book I'm talking about is The Escherian Core by Michael Dalton. And as always, I'm going to talk about four things. I'm going to talk about the world. I'm going to talk about the characters. I'm going to talk about the plot. And I'm going to talk about the writing style. So the first thing is the world. So the world is, the world would be far future. Far future. But that world only pops up for a couple of pages. For the most part, the world is within this this artificial setting. Artificial setting. Some of the other categories that this book would fall under: lit RPG or Gamelit, base building. It has so many different things in it, and it's basically this group that wake up and they are in this, again, artificial setting that's almost like a tesseract. They'll see stairs go into different areas, at different angles, and people walking on them. Looks upside down to them, sideways. So it's almost like a tesseract. And as they're progressing, they discover that they are a team. They are a team, and there's multiple teams. And there seems to be some interface that is necessary to run this. And they find themselves basically in a game world. In a way, it's almost kind of Squid Game-ish as far as the world, because they have games that they have to play, and the losers most of the time die.
So it is like Squid
So I'll get into the plot in a minute, because the plot's pretty complex. Getting into the characters, and this is also where things get a little different. And it's a subject that not a lot of books talk about. These characters, the main characters within this particular one, are all neurodivergent. In fact, the series is called the Neurodivergent series. The second book came out not too long ago, and I will talk about that soon. Now, the main characters, one of the guys on the team, the other guy dies fairly early on, but it's a group. It's a group thing all the time. Of course, the entire rest of the group are female, and they have to bond to increase their abilities. As things start to come out, they find they are in artificial bodies. They are basically kind of like
body jacking,
clone, like almost mind jacked from different dimensions, even the different alternate dimensions. So sometimes they know each other. Sometimes it's lizard people or cat people. But and when they have a chance, they talk, and they'll talk about geography. Like the planet's the same. I mean, even through multiple dimensions, Earth is still Earth. But you ever been to San Francisco? Where?
That's fascinating. So it's the same Earth, just different.
Different cities, different countries, different ways that things developed. And there's an overarching thing to this, and that's where I'll get into the plot, which also deals with the neurodivergence. So according to what they are eventually told as they start winning these contests and other people are dying, and they have to build a base while they're doing this. Their base expands. They can attack other bases and take them over, which generally leads to the deaths of whoever had the failed base. What they learn is they are in the far future, and they are basically in a computer simulation. They are physically, theoretically there. It's kind of, this book is kind of a gray area, because there ends up being like a pause. The second book, they're most definitely physically there in clone type bodies. This one, it's hard to say, because
kind
there
of like
ends
Avatar?
No. Well, kind of.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, but in this one, like I said, it's a gray area. You can't quite tell because like there is a part where they have like a pause, like they step through a room and they kind of feel like a stutter, and then they find out that it's now like 2 months later, but now they're actually in physical bodies, but they may not have been the first time. They might have been in a computer simulation, where basically in the far future they had this almost like crash landed alien artifact, and they were able to use a lot of it to reverse engineer their technology to get things that they have, like Tesseract stuff and their technology. But the core of the library is locked, and they haven't been able to unlock it. And supposedly they figured out this way to via computer simulation, like unlock the core, and that's what all these teams are. They're basically going through a computer core, and the winning teams are the ones that are navigating through this theoretically to be able to unlock the library core, which the winning team, it turns out there's multiple contests, and the winning teams all, which is why they then get physical bodies, are all going to the actual core, which occurs in the second book. And again, you've got of course you've got the adult side of things, the harem side of things, but the reason they call it the neurodivergent is this particular core, the Escherian Core that they are in, was an experiment that was kind of a rogue scientist almost, that every other core is, they pulled super soldiers, Delta Force, and dinosaur
Tactical
warriors,
minds.
or Nobel Prize winning scientists and physicists and so on, world class Olympic athletes, things like that. They pulled physical specimens, combat specimens, and mental specimens, and built the teams that way. While this one, they felt that neurodivergent people and the way they think and the way that how they think differently and see things differently and recognize patterns differently would be able to accomplish something that the other teams could not. And and this also comes into play later on in the second book. One thing I will say, as far as Michael Dalton goes, is he is either neurodivergent in some way, shape, or form, and I'm going to guess, I would guess the spectrum from the way he talks about it in the second book, because not everyone in the book is on the spectrum. They also have people that are just, extreme ADHD or social anxiety, stuff like that, which is still neurodivergence, and everybody else is all in different aspects in different ways on the autism spectrum, and the way he talks about the spectrum and how they think, and because he does occasionally write from their first person perspective, and it will talk almost their inner monologue. He's either on the spectrum himself or is maybe a psychologist or something, because he writes it very well. I mean, it's absolutely true, the perspective that he puts on it. As far as the writing goes, it's interesting. He writes the adult side of things very well. He writes the game side of things and the contest side of things and the base building side of things very well, and very intriguing how it's done and how they figure things out and how the bases are built. The games, he writes them well, plus adding in
want to read this book.
the twists of how the neurodivergent people see a pattern and recognize and are able to win a game. The team has basically almost 10 different flavors of neurodivergence, right. And each one of them at some point manages to be the one that figures something out. So it was definitely an eclectic team that manages to win in the first book. While at the same time his writing is humorous. Again, he writes the neurodivergent side of things very well. The writing is humorous at times, snarky at times, funny at times. Like I said, here every aspect of what he writes, from the base building to the gamelit to the neurodivergence to the games themselves to the
brown chicken brown cow.
To the brown chicken brown cow. It's all excellent. So if you like any of those things, base building, gamelit, lit RPG, harem, sci-fi, any of it, you got to check out Michael Dalton and the Escherian Core.
For everyone.
It is. It's a really, really, really good book. I was so excited when the second book came out, and I finished it almost before. I swear they were probably still uploading it, and I was finishing the read.
Shocker.
You guys got to check it out. So after you hit those like and subscribe buttons so we can give the puppy some rubs, go check out the Escherian Gambit by Michael Dalton. And otherwise, thank you everybody for watching, and we will catch you guys next time.
Bye now.
Bye.